What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I really wanted to sit down and talk about the Sephora savings event sale. So the sale is coming up and it is here. I believe it started yesterday, which is April 4th. If not, it definitely started today, which is April 5th. And it goes typically for about 2 weeks, and every different tier going from Rouge, let me scoot over so you guys can see, going from Rouge to VIB to Insider, all have different kind of start dates. I believe this year they went back to kind of the more traditional way where VIB and Beauty Insider both have the same start date, but all of the information will be right here on the screen. And as always, I will have the Sephora link down below. It is going to be an affiliated link, so if you shop through it, I very much appreciate it. Otherwise, no big deal at all. I just hope that you enjoy this video that I'm going to be presenting to you, and hopefully giving you some refreshing opinions when it comes to the sale, because we all know once the sale comes around, people love to give you recommendations. They love to tell you what you need in your collection or really should be trying to pick up. And I kind of have lately been more on giving you guys the opposite view, giving you guys kind of more balance to your hopefully very excessive YouTube subscription when it comes to beauty influencers. So I'm not gonna make this intro too long. Let's just go ahead and dive on in. And if you're wondering what's on my face, it is linked and listed down below, and this is gonna be kind of a talk through tutorial, so you'll see me do this face in just a second. So let's get into it. So I am filming this hopefully on the same day that it goes up, which is April 5th. And if I remember correctly, the Sephora sale, savings event sale, began yesterday for Rouge. We got like early access, but I think today is technically like the first official day. I'm not going to really be talking about the makeup products that I'm applying, but I figured it'd be nice to kind of talk and apply at the same time. Now, as I'm sure everybody else that has a significant amount of YouTubers that focus on beauty, have been kind of inundated with content regarding this sale. People, recommending certain products, and I completely understand, because there are a lot of people who are still very avidly interested in purchasing from the sale. Maybe the sale provides them access to certain products that they otherwise may not have, and maybe even then the sale is the best kind of discount that they can personally get in their respective countries for the respective products that they're interested in. So I'm not going to really kind of belittle anybody who is still very much excited for the sale. And if you watched any of my videos, even like a month or two ago, when this was really sneak peeked, I was still very excited. I was talking about the products that I was going to get. The last must have, must gag, I said, I have a cart of, I think, like 7 items that I'm going to get that 20% off, test them out, and review them. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not right now. I am kind of feeling completely underwhelmed personally. And I figured let's just talk about that in regards to this particular sale. Now, it's not a secret that the Sephora sale, if you did not know, for those who maybe are new or whatever, you only get 20% off of every non-Sephora branded product. So Sephora's brand has their own kind of collection where they have skincare, makeup, hair care, the works really. And that's kind of their brand that they do in-house to be somewhat competitive to all of these other brands that they are allowing kind of in their store, if you will. So for those products, you can get 30% off, which in the grand scheme of things really is not bad. But for all of the other products, you only get 20% off. Now, if you are a huge fan of any of these brands, or, if you've just been a makeup consumer for a little while, you know that these brands will do minimum 30% on their respective platforms. So let's say you go to Sephora and you want to buy Fenty Beauty. Fenty Beauty does a lot of at least 30% off sales throughout the year. And so for me, I'm just kind of at a point where Yes, I like the fact that I only get one package to my house, and especially like right now with my budget where I'm really trying to constrict my purchasing to under $100, the thought that I only really spend money like tax and I don't have to pay for shipping, that's really, really nice. So that allows me to get more product for my amount of money. But if we're really looking at it, is that better though? Because I'm getting, yes, more product for more money because of taxes and shipping, but I'm still paying more to Sephora than I would be to these third parties if I just purchased from their site. And on top of that, just kind of where I am personally with my purchasing and my consumption and use of my makeup, it is significantly decreased. That's why, unfortunately, my videos have significantly decreased, because I just don't have the time right now to really dedicate to putting on makeup, or even honestly to my channel as much as I have in the past. As I told you guys, my job is a lot more intensive mentally, physically, all of that. And so it's taking a lot more out of me than any of my other jobs combined, any of them. So, for me, it's just kind of, what is the real reason that I should be purchasing from the sale? And if we're being honest, yes, it's easy content because I can make a video talking about the sale, I can showcase my haul for the sale, and then of course subsequently review those products that I purchased during the sale. But if I'm looking at me as a person, me and my collection, I don't see a true benefit for me. And so I guess as I've kind of been doing the last couple of sales, I just kind of want to bring balance, if you will, to your kind of your thoughts, if you will. You get so many people telling you you've got to get this or you should get this during the sale. And to be quite honest, I don't think I'm going to do a recommendations video this year. If you are interested in my recommendations, I would definitely strongly point you to my end of the year favorites from last year. Those have pretty much been still staples, along with just whatever I have in my project pan. Quite a few of those products, if not almost all of them, are current favorites. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a video because I just don't have the heart, honestly, to do a video, if that makes sense. I just don't feel the pull that I usually do. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm not going to purchase. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do a video, but I'm not going to kind of hold myself to it as I used to in the past, because to me, yeah, it's a sale, but it's only 20%. Certain states, that's not even sales tax. So really, what is the true benefit of this sale for you? And that's really what I want you to think. Look at your collection, look at your purchasing habits, look at your goals for the year. Is this going to help align you with those goals? If your goal is to get certain products from brands that don't do a better discount than 20%, then be great. Be 100% great. But if you're like me and you have a significant collection, you're not really able currently to put a lot of time into using the makeup, maybe wait. There's always going to be another sale. Always. Even if they pretend and say there's not, there is literally always going to be another sale. So just wait, in my opinion. Those are my 2 cents. For whatever it's. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm truly in like a weird space right now where for so long, all of my content, or at least a majority of my content, was really showcasing new makeup, talking about new makeup, all of that. And although, yes, I'm still enjoying the use of makeup and all of that, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you in the same space, a similar headspace where you don't feel necessarily as obsessed? I'm not going to sit here and say I fell out of love with makeup, because I still enjoy it. I still enjoy my YouTube channel, but as some people like to say, there's more to life than makeup. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now, which is why, like I said, it was a really good time for me to kind of try to curb my spending, because how much am I really using of the makeup that I already spent my money on, let alone if I buy more, am I going to genuinely have the time to review it? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time. And I just wanted to give that quick, if you will, disclaimer on like what I think, about this sale. I would love to hear your opinions, because I'm sure I have at least a handful of people who are in very similar mindsets to me when it comes to purchasing, not only in general, but also purchasing from this sale, because I think a lot of people at this point have really kind of had that thought process. I know generally a lot of brands do their sales on their website prior to this, but I also know some brands will do it at the same time, if not a little bit after. So really be, I would say, smart on kind of what you want to do in that regard. I am trying a handful of kind of newer items, or just items that you've not seen me talk about. This particular product is actually from LYS. I recently did that video where I did a head-to-head between LYS and Juvia's Place, and I bought this, but I kind of lost it in all of the products that I was trying to organize. This is the LYS Brow Gel. This is literally the first time I've used it, and I don't think you missed anything with me not featuring it. There's so much product now on my skin, not even in my brows. The bristle on the head of this brow pencil is not very, I'm just not a huge fan at all of that personally, and I shouldn't have done that then. Should have done my actual pencil first, but I don't know. I did my stuff backwards for some reason today. So let's see if I can get my normal result. Just to kind of round up this video, because I am pretty much down to the finishing touches, I wanted to talk about what I have learned thus far in this kind of beauty budget year. Now, I've been doing it since December, and we are now in April. So I've been doing this for about 5 months now, where I have been actively paying attention to my purchasing habits and like how much I'm spending in beauty. I have included all of beauty. So not just makeup, but any form of perfume. I don't really include hair care just because I don't personally buy a lot of hair care items. So it's not something that I feel like I need to kind of budget. And thankfully Mama Bear actually just donated to me like a whole bunch of hair care products. So I am really, really good. Like for me, I'm set for life at this point. But I wanted to just talk about briefly kind of what I feel like I've gained, if you will, from doing this. And, what I've learned about myself, what I've learned about kind of how to squeeze my budget, all of that. And in doing that, I hope that you guys can kind of understand where I am mindset wise when it comes to this VIB sale. So the sun is changing. I think it actually is working better in my favor though right now, from what I can tell. So the first month, December, if I remember correctly, I did very good. I was under budget. Everything was fine. And then January, I went over budget and I was kind of mad at myself. I believe in January, as always, I was prepping for Black History Month, because if you did not know, I do a bunch of like Heritage Month videos where I try to showcase specific heritages during their month in the United States. And so I believe I went over budget, and it just kind of continued to go back and forth. So far, I think I have only updated you guys until February. I'll be filming right after this my update for March, so that you guys can know how I did on that. But I find it very interesting, at least for me, where I can compulsively reduce my purchasing. And I think it makes a lot of sense. I can reduce it on the months after I splurge. Because what happens is I splurge, I buy too much for me to personally consume, but also for me to review for you guys in a month. Then the next month, I'm so focused on reviewing those items that I don't feel the need to pick up anymore. And it just keeps going back and forth, kind of like that. And that, I think, is my more natural state when it comes to purchasing in general. Like, even if I look at my hobby and my love of buying plants and even books, I go through splurge and kind of lulls where I'll buy too much for me to either read or take care of. And then I kind of calm down and I kind of find that balance. And then I kind of go back again. And that I'm sure is a personal thing, or maybe other people go through this kind of purchasing habit as well as I do. But I found that there is, at least currently, the fact that my job is kind of kicking my butt, I am more or less forced to slow down because I just don't even have the time to look on my phone for much, or the energy. I think it was yesterday I came home and crashed. I mean, for me, I went to bed before 8 and didn't wake up until this morning for work. So that just tells you, for me at least, how tired I have been and how little activity I really have to use my phone, to get on my respective devices, to research and to potentially even purchase anything. And even on the days that I do have the energy, I do other things outside of, work for myself, and then also YouTube. I do stuff for people's businesses and more computer work and social media type work. And so that takes a toll as well. And so you really get to the point where, for me, being so busy has genuinely helped. It's helped me to kind of be okay with, okay, I'm really interested in these products and I'm going to get these products. And then for the rest of the month, I just don't think about it because I already know I spent my money and I just don't have the time or the brain power, if you will, to try. I just don't. I don't right now. And I'm not mad at that. I'm really not mad at that. At this point, I think it's going to work out how it's supposed to work out, So I feel like at this point, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. So I apologize if that is truly what's happening. But I just kind of wanted to say my 2 cents on what I've learned. And what I've learned is my natural spending habits. And I am using my job and all of these other kind of things that I have volunteered myself for, or am now doing as a hobby, or now doing as, a potential, other side hustle or business or whatever. I'm using those to help me curb my spending. And if you look on my channel, I feel as though that has happened throughout the journey of my channel. I've had lulls of times where I haven't purchased any makeup for one reason or another. When I had to get a new car, I did not purchase makeup for a couple of months because all of my money was going towards my car, because transportation to and from work, the place that I'm, getting the money to spend on makeup, is so much more important to me than actually the makeup, if we get down to the true thick of things. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, I've learned so much, not only about my spending habits, but also just being kinder to myself. Yes, Do I wish that I could be that person like Hannah Louise Poston that can just say, I'm going on a no buy year and actively stick with it? Yes. Yes, I do. But is that me? No, no, it's not. I'm that person that can lean into periods of time when I am busy and use those to my benefit to ensure that I don't spend money that I don't have, or even just save a little bit more money when I can. And then, on the times where I have a little bit more time, wiggle room financially, whatever, I live and I enjoy life. And I think that's okay. I don't think that we all need to be so hard on ourselves because we're not doing exactly what we want. Live. Just live and enjoy. And if you're kind of in a similar headspace to me, or even if you are able to be like a Hannah Louise Poston and you can completely stop purchasing, I salute you. I really do. And could I, if I need to? Yes, 100%. But right now, I don't necessarily need to be purchasing no makeup or not spending any kind of extra money. I can spend a little, but I want to just do better, make better choices. And that's another thing I have found that I have done really well this year. I've made such good choices that really thus far I haven't found any duds that I'm not enjoying, because by the time I pick the items up, people are already reviewing it, singing these items praises, and I'm like, okay, this is the product for me, and now I'm hearing why it could be the product for me, and then that's when I'm picking it up. So yeah, I feel like I rambled on a little bit in the middle and then I finally got to the point, so I apologize. But I'm just going to finish up this makeup look really, really quickly, and then we can wrap this video up. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I definitely am not going to sit here and say, don't purchase. You never should purchase from Sephora. Definitely not during the sale. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is I hope that we all can be a little bit more mindful, a little bit more conscious when we're making our purchases to see if it's really necessary. I mean, not only for the financial component, but also the environmental component. The product has to get to your house one way, whether it's you picking it up and driving to get there, or whether you're having it delivered. And if you're having it delivered, you have the added component of the actual box and all of the other items that are used to kind of protect your products and how those are broken down in your trash or recycle and all of that. So that's really the gist of this video. I hope that this was enjoyable. Also, just taking the time to watch me put on a full face of makeup. And even with this makeup, right, some of these things were new, some of these things were old, but if we're looking at my actual face, are there any products on here, application, texture, color, that I couldn't have picked up in my own collection? No. And so once again, just be more mindful of that as well. And that's another thing that I'm personally trying to be more mindful of. Is it necessary to bring in my collection? Is it going to add any actual value to my collection? For me as a YouTuber, there's a slightly different component there, right? Where sometimes it's good to just have multiples of certain items so I can recommend to you all, especially when I can finally get the hang of filming a little bit more consistently and hopefully uploading a little bit more consistently as well. That is an added bonus for me that I personally have to think of. If you're not a YouTuber, or if you're anticipating being a YouTuber, you also have to kind of consider what type of channel you want to have and all of that other type of kind of things that go on behind the scenes. So that was really the gist of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long. Like I always say, everything is going to be listed and linked down below. But with that said, I hope you guys have a good weekend, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.